Welcome to Networks Professionals.
Welcome to this explainer. We're talking about a fundamental shift happening right now in how we interact with AI. You know, it's really time we evolve from just typing random requests into a text box and crossing our fingers to becoming deliberate, powerful context designers. We're talking about moving from just being proficient to truly elite, commanding the AI to do the absolute heavy lifting for us. Let's get right into it.
I mean, look, we've all been there, right? You ask an AI a question, you're hoping for this brilliant, nuanced masterpiece of an answer, and instead, you get back something incredibly bland, generic, or just flat out useless. So why does this happen? Well, it all comes down to one brutal truth. Vague requests yield vague results. Seriously, when we treat modern AI like it's a basic search engine from the early 2000s, we're literally robbing ourselves of its actual power. The quality of what you get out is entirely dependent on the quality of what you put in.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the difference here is actually crazy. Imagine using a lazy prompt like, write about AI. Well, the model basically has to guess what you want. Are we talking history, the complex math behind it, the ethical dilemmas? It's just unfocused and messy. But what if instead we ask for a 500-word, beginner-friendly explanation of neural networks, using the analogy of teaching a child to recognize animals? Boom. We instantly give it a length constraint, a specific target audience, a highly focused topic, and even a pedagogical tool. Clarity creates absolute quality, every single time.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the art of prompting. Then we'll cover the core principles for success. After that, we're getting into advanced prompting frameworks, followed by common mistakes to avoid. And finally, we'll wrap up with the future, context design.
Starting right off with Section 1, the art of prompting. Now, prompt engineering at its core is really the art of crafting precise instructions to guide these models. It's the skill of turning those vague requests into high-quality, actionable results. As we navigate through 2026, these AI models are becoming insanely sophisticated, but precisely because they can do so much, the difference between a mediocre response and an exceptional one is entirely determined by the structure, the context, and the absolute clarity of your input prompt. You are the pilot here.
Moving right along to Section 2, core principles for success.
There's a baseline set of rules that completely changes the game. Think of these as your non-negotiables. First, be specific and direct. Like we said, vague requests yield vague results. Second, provide context. Tell the AI exactly who the audience is, what your ultimate goal is, and give it the background info it needs to succeed. Third, specify your output format. Do you want a table, bullet points, JSON data, a formal tone? Just tell it. Fourth, use active verbs. Start with direct, commanding actions like summarize, analyze, write, or critique. And finally, iterate and refine. Honestly, the first output is almost never perfect. Look at what it gives you, adjust your wording, tweak your constraints, and hit it again.
Now, there's this really common misconception that writing a great prompt means writing a whole novel. It definitely doesn't. Small changes equal massive differences. You don't need 1,000 words, you just need the right 20 words to completely revolutionize the output. It's actually kind of funny how we overcomplicate things, treating these advanced systems like we need to cast some complex magic spell. Strategic minor tweaks are really all it takes.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Telling an AI to just fix this code is a massive gamble. I mean, it might change your core logic, use a method you don't even understand, or totally break your other dependencies. But look at the upgrade here. This Python function should validate email addresses, but it's rejecting valid emails with plus signs. Fix it, explain what was wrong, and ensure it complies with RFC 5322. See the difference? We gave it the exact bug, asked for an educational explanation of the fix, and added a strict compliance constraint. Just small changes in how we asked, but it resulted in an enormously more valuable answer.
Let's step it up a notch with Section 3, Advanced Prompting Frameworks. Think of these advanced techniques almost like hidden cheat codes that the pros are using in 2026. The first one is role prompting, or assigning a persona. When you assign a specific role to the AI, say a patient math tutor, you instantly shift its entire vocabulary, its tone, and the underlying assumptions it makes. It's going to simplify concepts, use a super encouraging tone, and walk through problems gently. On the flip side, asking it to act as a senior DevOps engineer forces it to use highly technical jargon and focus on complex system architecture. It completely zeroes in the model's expertise on whatever you need.
Then we have few-shot prompting. This is where you actually include 2 to 5 examples of input and output pairs directly in your prompt. So if you want the AI to format data a very specific way, don't just describe the format, show it. Teach the model your desired structure or tone by giving it a few quick, concrete examples. It is, hands down, one of the absolute most reliable ways to guarantee you get the exact format you're looking for without the headache.
Next up is a genuinely fascinating technique called chain of thought prompting. It turns out simply asking the model to think step by step before it delivers an answer forces it to break down its reasoning out loud. And guess what? That dramatically reduces logical errors. It's actually amazing to see how this works in practice. This is especially vital if you're asking the AI to do complex math, coding, or deep data analysis. Having it show its work completely prevents it from jumping to incorrect conclusions. Let's move to and see how this builds into an incredibly comprehensive structure, the CoStar method. It's brilliant. C is for context, the background information. O is for objective, your actual goal. S is for style, the writing style you want. T is tone, the attitude of the piece. A is audience, who exactly this is for. And R is response, your desired format. If you build your prompts using this checklist, you are practically guaranteed an exceptional, perfectly tailored result every single time. It's a total game changer.
All right, let's pivot to Section 4, Common Mistakes to Avoid.
Let's rapid fire through these pitfalls because they trip up a lot of people. First, we know being too vague is a major trap. Asking it to just summarize this is bad news. You need to add specifics like length and audience. But then there's conflicting instructions, like asking for something to be short but detailed. That actually breaks the AI's logic. You really have to be precise and pick a lane. But here's the big one. Pay special attention to negation. Telling an AI what not to do is vastly less effective than telling it what to do. So instead of saying, don't use big words, say use simple primary school vocabulary. Positive constraints work so much better than negative ones, for sure.
And finally, Section 5, the future, context design. So, the crucial point is that basic prompting is rapidly evolving into context design. This entire shift is focused on providing AI agents with the absolute right context and data, often referred to as RAG or Retrieval Augmented Generation, to automate tasks reliably. We aren't just asking an AI random questions anymore. We're literally building entire data-rich environments for the AI to operate within, making it a seamless, integrated part of our actual workflows.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer, leaving you with one really vital question. Are you just prompting, or are you actually designing context? Think about it. I highly encourage you to stop randomly searching and hoping for the best. Grab the CoStar framework, specify your constraints, and start deliberately designing your AI interactions. The quality of your output is entirely in your hands now. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep designing.
Thanks for watching.